Hello everybody, it is Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and welcome to 30 Days of Sketches 6. We are on to day 22 and I am having the hardest time deciding which photos to use for this one. And I've pared this down. I had like 10 options. It was crazy. I have a ton of 2 photo type layouts that need to get done. So it was hard for me to pick. I have these 2 that I felt like I could cut down and make work because they're square. So I was really into that. These are recent photos and I love them. So I've got those ones. I got these ones from Sean's birthday from last year that I felt like I could totally make work as well. But in the end, I decided it's October. So let's do Halloween. So this is what I've got going for me. I love all 3 of these photos. We're going to find a way to make them work and layer and do a flip. And I'm going to try and use a little bit of this spooky collection from Pebbles along with the rest of my Halloween stash. So let's get going. I am going to start with this really amazing cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it's called Stitch Stars. And of course, I had planned, and I do, you're going to see, to stitch it and use my photos and then somehow make that work in with these triangles. I take all the time to do it. I picked, I think, 3 or 4 different colors to stitching because I wanted to bring in some different colors with these particular photos. They were taken... Let me see, this was Nora's second Halloween, I think. So she was 2, and would have been before Barrett. And they were just so cute. They're so cute. I love the look on their faces. I adore that Halloween. It was lots of fun. And that's my plan. So you're going to see, I do that. I do the stitching. I then decided to, because there's a lot of black poking up, so I went back to the same pieces of pattern paper I'm thinking to use in with the triangles. I'm going to go ahead and back some of the stars so that there's pattern paper behind it instead of just that stark pop of black. And I'm going to take the time to go ahead and do that. Just kind of thinking I am going to find a way to make this work. So before I do anything, I've got to make those triangles because I need to make sure I have enough of that, especially this particular pattern paper. It's from my stash. And the other one, this is from that spooky collection. I love it. It's got the neighborhood to it. We lived in a neighborhood for that particular Halloween, and I love the color of it. That color is like a green. So I'm not a green fan, but this particular color, I love it. It's like I don't even know, but I love it. So, okay, this took me like an afternoon. I don't know. It took me quite a while because you have to do the stitching and then you have to do the backing. And I'm pretty sure I was working on it during the weekend. So I did it in really small chunks because I do not normally scrap during the weekend at all. Worked on it, did not like it with this idea, with this sketch. So I'm going to use all that hard work and put it away for now, but I'll bring it back for another layout another day. No big deal. Instead, I'm going to use the photos taken this year of my kids' Halloween pajamas. So if you remember back day 10 or 11, I documented last year's Halloween jammies and told you how I love these ones this year's even more. So I have a Ghostbuster, which is Jackson, a skeleton, which is Nora, and then Barrett is this pirate octopus thing, and they're all so cute, and I just love their Halloween jammies this year. I love to document this. This is kind of a tradition we have in our family. We do Christmas jammies too, but Halloween are kind of my favorite. So that is what is going to be documented today instead of actual Halloween photos. Now I wanted to do there, because like you can see in the sketch, a little bit of mixed media. I didn't want it to be anything too crazy, and I'm bringing in it's blue. I thought it would be a little bit darker than what it actually turned into, but I'm okay with it. It still has the same almost softness and the same tone as the green has in the pattern paper. So it all kind of combines itself together, which is perfect. And I'm just doing just a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom, just like you see in the sketch. And I'll finish it off with, I have, you guys, like the tiniest bit of Heidi Shine, Heidi Swap Color Shine left, and I use it sparingly for splatters and stuff. It's ridiculous. I can get something from someone else. I know Shimmers has a really good gold too, but I just hoard it. And so I use a little bit of that as well. I make the paint that I use a little bit more liquid as well. And so there's lots of splatters going on. Most of it gets covered up, but that's okay. I'm really happy with the effect it gave. Super subtle. I didn't want this to be like, oh, there's a ton of mixed media on this layout. That's not what this was about. It was more of just something extra there. Now, here is my favorite part of the whole layout. I was watching a layout from Daisy, and she had used some of this crepe paper, not in this way, but she had it on her layout. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I still have some. So, yep, I'm totally going to do the ruffle technique where you just use glue first and then you just ruffle it up back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I'm going to do my hand stitching on top of that once I get it glued down onto the layout so that I know my stitching isn't going to get messed up, because I've had a few issues with that. But I still got my stitching in, guys. There's not a lot of it. It's just stitching the triangle. But I got it in, and it's hand stitching, so yay me. But I love this. And then to make sure that nothing was too crazy, I just trimmed off the edges because that's what's going to happen there. And I did it to both this larger triangle, but I'm also going to do it to the other one. And I decided, because you can see in the sketch, it's almost like a double triangle layer effect going on. Now, I don't do it to the big one, but to the small one, I decided to do that. I brought in this other piece of triangle that's got, again, a teal green type of feel to it, which brings in Barrett's pajamas, which is perfect. The blue kind of matches with Nora's, and the pops of red and stuff with the orange kind of fit in with Jackson. So they all kind of work together. Do a few layers to the photo, nothing crazy, but I like to have a little something, especially when a layout is pretty basic like this. Having a few layers to really help make that stand out is a great idea. And of course, they're small enough that they still fit in line with where the placement is of the photos on the sketch. I just happened to add an extra photo because I have 3 kids. So I'm loving this. I'm so happy with how this turned out, especially because I was so disappointed that the stars weren't going to work. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this now. Like, I was stumped. And I didn't know. I was messaging more like, we're both really basically on the same day as we're scrapping, trying to stay ahead of each other, ahead of the rest of the week. And so we're sharing what we're doing and everything together. It's really fun. And we're basically on the same day. And I was telling her, like, this one, I had a plan and it didn't work. And then I shared with her how the finished layout turned out, and it worked fine. And here comes in my favorite part. I am going to use a little bit of the ephemera that I received this. So I bought a bunch of Halloween stuff this year, and I'm going to use some of the really cutesy little bits, and along with some florals that aren't necessarily cutesy, but it all just brings in this really fun vibe. I'm going to combine them all together, put my title down where you can see it. So I didn't really move the sketch at all. I just made it a little bit more for me and my style. But they're the cute little things. So I think I've got a pumpkin and a mummy and a candy cane mummy wrap thing. Anyways, they're adorable. And then I'm going to say October PJ love, and the love you can only see in person. I really don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera because it's white on white. But I just wanted there to be a little bit more to it. And I'm so pleased with how this layout turned out, especially with how hard it was to make it all work. So sometimes you just got to push through and you'll love it in the end. Please make sure you head on over, check out the playlist. Everyone that's playing along today should be updated there. I try to update it early in the morning as soon as possible with the most accurate, so you can catch it all there. And of course, if you're interested, feel free to join the Facebook group. You can see all those sketches there, or over on Instagram. If you use the hashtag 40DSCBL6, you should be able to see what everyone's doing over there. There's a look at my finished layout. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.